So I'm going to start off the video by saying that I do not recommend or support this build for anyone. So if you are going to build a build like this, then please do more research and don't get a build like this unless you really have to. Okay, so as we have that out of the way, I had this stupid idea of pairing my Ryzen 5 3600X with a low-end GPU, which is a GT 730. Now, I don't know what I was expecting, but I decided to do a benchmark video, and welcome to the benchmark video. So in this video, I tested this system in 10 different games, and here's the result. So without wasting any more time, let's get right into it. Okay, so for the first game, we have Rainbow Six Siege. Now, Rainbow Six Siege at 720p in lowest graphics runs at over 60 FPS, reaching up to 80 FPS. Now, this is where the video idea came from, and I think this game runs quite well. Now, I'm going to remind you that I did not use any custom settings that you guys will see in my own videos. These are all vanilla settings that you guys will get out of a game. Just install a game and you guys will get the settings in the game. So the game is running at 720p in lowest settings. By the way, one thing that I want you guys to notice is that for the most of the games, the GPU usage will be staying at around 100%, while CPU usage will not even touch 20%. So that proves that games nowadays mostly run on GPU. So if you want a gaming system like totally focused on gaming and you are really tight on a budget, then invest more on your GPU instead of your CPU. Okay, for the next game, we have one of the most popular game, which is GTA 5. Now, GTA 5 runs at around 40 FPS in 1080p at lowest graphics settings. Now, GTA 5 is actually quite optimized, and in 900p or 720p, the game runs at over 60 FPS, which is really great. As our next game, we have Counter-Strike. Now, Counter-Strike in 1080p at lowest settings runs at over 60 FPS, but however, there is a huge frame drop in especially chaotic situations. Like you guys will see in the video, at the smoke part, the FPS drops to like 5 FPS. But however, in an in-game scenario, the FPS is quite good and I think it's playable, and especially if we drop the resolution to 720p, the game runs quite smoothly. Okay, sorry for interrupting the video, but YouTube analytics shows that not even 1% of my viewers are subscribed to the channel, which is really sad. So by far, if you're enjoying the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. It'll mean a lot to me. Okay, for the next game, we have one of my favorite games of all time, which is Witcher 3. Witcher 3 barely runs at over 20 FPS, mostly at 25 FPS in 720p at lowest graphics settings. Now Witcher 3 is obviously a demanding game and this PC doesn't run this that well. For the next game we have Valorant, and at 900p in the lowest graphics settings the game runs at around 200 FPS, and as you guys will see in the statistics, the CPU usage in this game is over 20%, which is quite impressive and shows the fact that this game mostly runs on CPU and you need a powerful CPU instead of a more powerful GPU to run this game well. For the next game we have PlayerUnknown's Battleground. Now at 720p in the lowest graphics settings, the game barely runs at 30 FPS, and as you guys can see in the combat situations, when another player comes, the FPS doesn't drop that much, which is great, but however when you're driving a vehicle, the FPS drops to 25 FPS and it runs at 25 to 30 FPS. But in chaotic situations, the FPS doesn't drop that much, which I think is great. For the next game we have Shadow of Tomb Raider. This game barely runs at 15 to 20 FPS in 720p at lowest graphics settings. Now of course this is a highly demanding game and this PC can't run this game that well. But in lower graphics than this you can actually run this game at 25 FPS, and for some people that's playable actually. For the next game we have Fortnite, and if you guys follow the channel you guys will know about Fortnite's performance mode. Now in performance mode Fortnite runs at over 40 FPS up to 80 FPS, which is actually totally playable, and I actually think this is a great game, and Fortnite performance mode is one of the best things Fortnite has implemented for low-end gamers. Now after Fortnite we have another battle royale game which I used to enjoy a lot, which is Apex Legends. Now Apex Legends barely runs at 30 FPS and drops to 25 or 20 FPS in chaotic situations, and playing this game with this system was basically like I was feeling like my PC is crying for help.
Firing. Reloading.
No bueno.
Check the sectors. Another squad is incoming. Down to target. Give me a second.
Enemies right here.
EMP incoming.
Care package. Someone's got a death wish.
Faster, faster. Whoa. Back at the totem. Reloading. Charging up my shields.
Reloading. That was the whole squad. Off the mic.
Okay, now I don't know what I was thinking, but here we have Red Dead Redemption 2 at 720p in the lowest graphics settings, and this game can run barely at 10 FPS. Now at this point I was actually questioning my entire existence and why I was doing this, and well, I don't know. Now, as if RDR to torture wasn't enough, I decided to play Cyberpunk on this. Now Cyberpunk actually opened, and that was like a big accomplishment for me. Now Cyberpunk runs at around 7 to 8 FPS, and I am really laughing while saying this, but anyway, I think this is it for today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Can't right now. Barely hanging in there as it is.
You may recall that I saved your life. I needed you to return the favor.
Haven't managed to get my head straight yet. Not after everything that happened.
That will not happen anytime soon. And so what?
Exactly.